Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre. Hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond. Sometimes even from the beyond. You can find us online at terrorintandem.com and on Instagram at terrorintandem.
You sure can.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome, audience, and welcome, friends and neighbors.
Welcome, enemies and malcontents.
Frenemies and...
with benefies.
Ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah. All sorts. All takers.
Haters and players.
And masturbators.
Oh, God.
Yes. So, anyway.
Ew. Please don't masturbate to my voice.
I think we should cut that part.
Why? So, yeah, welcome. This is one of our monthly, what we're looking forward to.
One
in
of
the
our
coming monthlies.
World famous, highly demanded monthly recommendation episodes.
The top number one most requested episode.
On iTunes. Yeah.
And Spotify.
That's a fact.
So, yeah, we're coming at you with what we are looking forward to in April. April showers, everyone.
I'm really excited. T.S. Eliot may have called it the cruelest month, but I love April.
Is it because of the heartbreak, though, of April? Not because of the weather?
Well, I mean, it was the wasteland, so I'm pretty sure it was a nightmare that he was having while on opium.
Yeah.
But I love April because it's the first month where it actually gets warm. It rains a bunch, which I always really enjoy.
And it brings Mayflowers.
It does. And the May Queen. But it also has a bunch of wonderful holidays to celebrate, like Bicycle Day and other days. So, that's fun. I love April. And I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. And especially this April is chock full of goodies.
We also have a official, where we became official in April.
That's true.
Our official when we became official in April.
Yes.
How many years are we going on?
We, oh my goodness.
Not wedded
No.
bliss, but entangled mess.
I don't know. Math.
How long have we been in entangled mess?
Since 2007.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
How many years is that, though? I'm not good at math. Here, let me get out the old...
16 years. 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, happy sweet 16 to you,
lover.
Absolutely.
Yes, and to you, my partner in all things. We have another anniversary in April, which is the anniversary of this pod.
Yes, everyone. It will be
which
at
we've
the
also
end of
been
this...
doing for 17 years. We've only just started recording. It turns out the first 16 years,
just begun.
You got to hit the button. I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt will tell you got to hit record, and I didn't. So this is just the 17th year.
I mean, you guys missed out on
16 years of Terror in Tandem goodness. But you're with us now, and that's what's important.
We've been storing it all up just to explode it on your face.
It's gushing.
We also have another thing to celebrate in April.
What's that?
Our kitty.
Yes.
I think she's 5 this year.
Yeah, our sound engineer.
Yep. Our biggest critic.
Yes, she is. Wow, my God.
I mean,
honestly,
you guys should see her sometimes when we're recording. She is scratching at the windows to get out.
I understand the constructive criticism, but she gets really personal about my physical appearance, and I'm like, this is an audio podcast, it doesn't even matter.
For those of you that don't know, we have an orange cat, and I think that's enough said.
Yeah, apparently they are known to be more mischievous. I don't know. Ours is definitely infernal. We got her from hell.
I thought we got her from garbage.
She was born in a pile of garbage on a garbage barge off the coast of Nova Scotia. And that's why she loves garbage so much. Also, you should know she loves garbage.
Yeah, she does. She likes to sit in piles of garbage.
Really loves trash.
Yeah.
Which I guess explains her fondness for me.
And because we're hoarders, it just works out for everyone.
She's, yes, we should mention she's one of 97 cats.
Right. And by garbage, we mean one of our luxury properties.
Yeah, the body of a cat we forgot about.
So, I don't know. Let's just like jump into our April recommendations.
I love
so
it.
that we can get people on with their day.
Get them going. Tell them what to look forward to. Do you want to start?
Sure. I'm going to start with a book.
Oh, perfect.
So the book that I'm going to recommend is called The Haunting of Alejandra by V. Castro. And that comes out April 18th. She's also the author who wrote Goddess of Filth, which came out last year.
That
and
sounds amazing.
The Queen of the Cicadas.
Oh, I did hear about that. Okay, yeah.
She
All
writes
right.
traditionally like historical Gothic horror. So this is this...
Way to go, V. Castro.
Yeah. And this is the synopsis. A woman is haunted by the Mexican folk demon, Llorona,
Oh,
as she unravels the dark secrets of her family history.
the weeping woman.
And so Alejandro doesn't know who she is. To her husband, she's a wife. To her children, a mother. And to her own adopted mother, she's a daughter. But they can't see who she's become. And she's a woman who's struggling with darkness that threatens to consume her. So in times of despair, a ghostly vision appears to her. And it's of Llorona, which is an apparition of a crying woman in a ragged white gown.
Yeah.
So she basically, does she embrace this or does she not embrace this?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Does she try to get rid of it? She goes to a therapist. Does she become her? I guess you'll have to read it to find out.
Honestly, given the legend of La Llorona, it's the weeping woman who's lost her children. It's usually like her children have drowned or something like that. And
Yep.
perfect book to read on a rainy April day.
Absolutely.
That sounds awesome. I'm really looking forward to that.
And I think it's a real sort of deep dive into the women in her family, in Alejandra's family.
Yeah.
And also probably understanding the struggles that Llorona
And
had.
There's the struggles
own
of discovering your background when you've been adopted or a member of your family has
Absolutely.
been adopted.
Right. Like, who is her birth mom? I
Yeah.
wonder if that comes out too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So
So that comes out April 18th, The Haunting of Alejandra.
I'm going to start with first off, April is absolutely packed to the gills for me. It is overflowing with goodness, and I'm going to start with Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, wow.
Coming April 21st to theaters. Now, this is the first Evil Dead movie not being directed by Sam Raimi. It is being directed by Lee Cronin, who people might remember is an Irish director, did the very, very good movie The Hole in the Ground in 2019. So Lee Cronin was handpicked by Sam Raimi to do this. It's being directed by Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, and Bruce Campbell, the Three Stooges of the Evil Dead franchise. So this one really changes it up, though. It's takes it out of the cabin in the woods setting to like a high rise in the city. Right now, yeah, we're both this.
There is an Evil Dead musical, and
we've seen it.
We've seen it, and it's incredible.
It's awesome.
And one of the songs is Cabin in
Cabin
the
in the woods,
Cabin in the woods.
yeah.
So,
for college students. Yeah.
Cabin in the woods.
It's really good, and if you sit in the first few rows, you get like splattered with all sorts of goop.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So
Definitely
anyway,
see the Evil Dead musical.
I can't think of Evil Dead now without singing.
And why?
At least
Why
one
would
of
you?
the songs.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Listen, Evil Dead is that rarest of properties that has had multiple entries over many decades, and none of them are bad.
But this one doesn't look funny.
No. Well, so this Evil Dead Rise, it changes up the setting from cabin in the woods to a high-rise apartment in the city, which makes for some really interesting...
Moving on up.
To a deluxe apartment in the sky. But this changes up the setting. It also is nothing to do with Ash. Ash doesn't appear in this movie.
Bruce Campbell, for those of you who
there's
might
no
not
Ashley
know.
Williams. Unlike the 2013 remake that Fede Alvarez directed, which was very, very good, where they gender swapped Ash. there is no character of Ash. So in this movie, the synopsis is, after a long journey on the road, Beth, played by Lily Sullivan, visits her older sister Ellie.
Lily Sullivan of
No, not the comedian Lily Sullivan that we both love so very, very much. This is the Australian actress Lily Sullivan, who was in I think she was at the remake of Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Okay.
She's in a bunch of stuff.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
No, listen. I'm going to quote PFT. Shout out to Lily Sullivan. So she goes to visit her older sister Ellie, who's played by Alyssa Sutherland.
Start over.
She goes to visit her older sister Ellie, played by Alyssa Sutherland. That is a tough one. Who is struggling to raise 3 children alone in a small Los Angeles apartment. However, their reunion is interrupted when they find a strange book hidden in the depths of Ellie's building, which unleashes flesh-possessing demons that you or I may know as Deadites. Now, I don't know how many times I have to say this. If you find an old book written in cuneiform, inked in human blood, and bound in human flesh, don't read out loud from it. Just don't. Just don't. But anyway, they do, and it looks really, really nasty. Now, Lee Cronin has said they've maintained sort of some of the humor of the series, but they really did amp up the scare factor. It premiered at South by Southwest. It's getting great reviews. Bruce Campbell has been championing this movie for a while now. He's been singing its praises. It looks really... It looks like it carries the style of the series, but it also looks like it has the potential to be the scariest one yet. So I'm really looking forward to it. Lee Cronin is a real up-and-coming talent, and I'm just happy to see this property continue. So, yeah, Evil Dead Rise, April 21st, y'all.
Well, what made me think of, you'll find that they found that book in their apartment. We were talking about this the other day with the razor blades.
Oh, how old houses used to have...
Yeah, there's a whole Reddit dedicated to a couple of pounds of razor blades in my wall. So
yeah, old house. Go for it.
Old houses. So way back in probably the 50s,
like
60s,
in the times
40s
when,
and 50s.
Like basically people just threw garbage on the street because they figured whatever.
Well, there wasn't any probably like organized. So anyway, there were. Your medicine cabinet, there were holes behind, and you could still see in most medicine cabinets, they do have a little slot at the top. And what would happen is they would drill a hole, or they would have an empty space where the medicine cabinet would go, and people would take their disposable razor blades after they shaved and put them behind the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, so basically if you bust down the wall behind a medicine cabinet in a house that was built in the 40s or 50s, you might find several thousand dirty old razor blades.
Yeah, and there's this guy that he had like mid 20th century building, and he was going to remodel, and he found a couple of pounds of razor blades. Cool. Used old rusty razor blades. I
love the idea of, I'm just going to throw razor blades here and it'll be someone else's problem eventually. What a cool way to live.
So it's really interesting. I think it's, you might just find if you do a bathroom reno and you live in an old house, especially, we're in New England, lots of old buildings here. I'm pretty sure that you're going to find this.
I'm almost positive we live in one of those.
Yeah. We do.
Anyway, April 21st, Evil Dead Rise.
Nice. Get those razor blades. Well, do you want to take a break and we'll come back and do the rest, or should I do another one?
I would love to take a break.
Okay, let's do it. Are you over the 50 Shades of Dull? Looking for a way to spice up more than just your sex life? Introducing H.H. Holmes Home Dungeon Design, where we take the kink out of the clink. With H.H. Holmes' discreet and silent design team, we transform your once tantalizing sex dungeon into a terrifying, dungeon. If you've already satisfied your craving for masochism, why not redesign your space for maximum sadism? We will reimagine your space to allow for all of your darkest plans to come to life. Don't have a sex room to convert? Don't worry, we love a blank slate. With our 3D specs, we can show you all the horrors, nightmares, and tortures you can create with just a few modifications to your space. Need drainage? We have the latest drainage grading and high flow power technology used by the military to clean their most stubborn messes. So make that call from the last payphone in your town and engage with one of our talented dungeon designers today. This is a fake ad for a fake product on a horror-themed podcast. We do not endorse nor condone kidnapping, torture, or murder, no matter how bougie your kill room is. And we're back. All right, well, I'm going to jump into my movie recommendations.
Do it.
Mine is the first one is To Catch a Killer.
Oh.
Coming out April 21st.
Same day as Evil Dead Rise. Looks like we fighting.
It's a competition over here. Busy weekend.
It actually is, because I have another recommendation for the same day.
Yeah, and I have another recommendation.
You know what?
For later
Everyone,
that week.
just take that Friday off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So To Catch a Killer, it's directed by Damien Zafran. He's Argentinian. And he, this is a film starring Shailene Woodley.
Oh.
She got her start in The Secret Life of the American Teenager and starred in The
Descendants, right.
The
and
Divergent series.
That's the one. I was trying to remember which one.
Yep. Snowden and Big Little Lies. It also stars Ben Mendelsohn, who's Australian.
Oh, shit, yeah.
He's known for Animal Kingdom, The Dark Knight Rises, Ready Player One, and was incredible in the series Bloodline
and Rogue One,
The Outsiders, and Rogue One. I mean, he's amazing.
In everything. Yeah, Captain Marvel.
He also recently joined the MCU as Talos in Captain Marvel and Spider-Man: Far From Home.
He's going to be in Secret Invasion.
Nice.
Coming up. Yeah, no, Ben Mendelsohn rules.
And it also stars a younger actor named Jovan Adepo, who starred in Fences. He appeared in Watchmen as Hooded Justice.
Oh, yeah.
And was in the miniseries The Stand, which is just another connection to Ben Mendelsohn because Outsider is Stephen King and The Stand is Stephen King.
Nice.
That's the only thing that Stephen King has
Hooded
to do
Justice.
with this.
God, that was a tough storyline, that one.
Yeah, it was great, though.
Yeah, amazing. Maybe the best season of TV I've ever seen.
The Outsider?
No, Watchmen.
Oh, Watchmen, yeah. But the film is about a cop played by Shailene Woodley who has some issues, I think, like behavioral issues, maybe like rogue, gets herself in trouble.
So has the perfect job. Yeah.
But because she's super talented and like might have this darkness, she's recruited by the FBI to assist with profiling and catching a murderer who is on the loose. So it's going to be one of those, like, similar to like Zodiac type film,
cat and mouse kind of thing.
Yeah, like so Seven.
She has like Clarice Starling vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm hopeful that that's sort of.
Oh,
like
you should be
the
so
emergence
lucky.
Of it.
Yeah. For sure.
So, To Catch a Killer.
Okay.
Coming out April 21st.
I don't know if I've ever seen Shailene Woodley in a horror movie, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, she's been in some serious stuff.
She's very talented, for sure. Yeah. My turn?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I'm obviously over the moon excited about this one, and it's Renfield. Coming April 14th, directed by Chris McKay. Now, Chris McKay got his start, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but doing the very awesome Adult Swim cartoon Moral Orel. Then he went on to direct the surprisingly great Lego Batman movie. But he's doing Renfield. So,
yay!
Renfield, as we know, was
Awkwafina.
Yes, it's starring Nicholas Hoult
as a cop.
Awkwafina. And,
another perfectly cast cop.
Yeah. And the perfect casting of Dracula, Nicolas Cage. So Renfield from the novel was basically the original solicitor that was assigned to Count Dracula's case, and he went insane and became Count Dracula's minion. And in the novel Dracula, Jonathan Harker is his replacement because Renfield has been committed to an insane asylum.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bit different. It's an update based on a story pitched by Robert Kirkman, creator of Invincible and The Walking Dead. So way back when, this was going to be part of the now aborted Universal Dark Universe. Do you remember the Dark Universe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is my favorite example of putting the cart before the horse, where they released one movie, Dracula Untold. It didn't do well, and said, you know what? Actually, that's not the start of the universe. It's The Mummy with Tom Cruise. And then that didn't do well. And they released a poster with the whole cast. It was going to be Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll, and Johnny Depp was Invisible Man, and Angelina Jolie was Bride of Frankenstein. Anyway, none of it happened. It all got canceled. They had hired directors, hired actors. I mean, they lost so much money. And it's just,
wow.
Before you make a universe, make the movies. And then the universe comes from those movies. So anyway, Renfield was one of those ideas that got retooled. So it is an update of the story where Renfield still serves as Dracula's minion. He is played by Nicholas Hoult.
Who is, if you guys don't understand that Nicholas Hoult is so funny.
And great.
He's really great, but he is so funny. You should watch The Great.
Yes,
because he
about
is
Catherine the Great.
Really hilarious and dumb and charming and
He's
ridiculous in that show.
Incredibly versatile actor.
He really is. I'm very excited to see this.
I'd love to see him doing comedy. So he plays
also starring Awkwafina.
So he plays Renfield. Now it's a bit of a twist in that when he drinks blood or something, he gets superpowers as well, but it's basically treating his relationship with Dracula as like a toxic relationship that he wants out of. He's been serving this man for centuries. He's familiar. He falls in love with Awkwafina's character. Nicolas Cage really, really hams it up, obviously, as Dracula. It's very gory.
Wearing like a crushed red velvet.
Looks hilarious. Yeah. Nicolas Cage recently gave an incredible interview with Variety where he talked a lot about his favorite kinds of movies to make. He said his two favorite types of film to make are intense family dramas and horror movies.
Wow.
Which is amazing because he's been in some all-time classics. Looking at you, Mandy. So
you're a fine girl. Oh, that's Brandy.
That's Brandy. I should say this was going to be directed by Dexter Fletcher back in the day when it was part of the Dark Universe. So anyway, in this interview, I just want to bring it up because he talked about, he really focuses on the physicality of Dracula in this film, and his inspirations were Gary Oldman, Frank Langella, and Bela Lugosi.
The best.
The interviewer, of course, asked him, since this is a question that everyone needs to be asked, what superhero would you like to be if you were in the MCU? You know, forgetting the fact that he was already Ghost Rider. So his answer was, I don't need to be in the Marvel Universe. I'm Nick Cage. Sorry about the impression, but that's literally what he said.
Oh,
I don't need to be in the Marvel Universe. I'm Nick Cage. And he said it in a way of like, don't you get it? Like, why would you even ask me that? I'm Nick Cage. And honestly, yes, you are. And you're right. You don't. If he could be a superhero, he would be all of them. I want to see the Tim Burton Superman movie that got made in an alternate universe. I desperately want to see long-haired Nicolas Cage Superman in a Tim Burton-directed Superman movie. But we'll never get that. We will get Renfield. So Renfield, coming at you April 14th in theaters. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I hope it's funny. It looks great.
I mean, I feel like it's going to be funny.
It's got all the elements. Great cast, great director, really good idea. I can't wait.
I have a proposal. I think we should watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent tonight. Later today.
Second,
whatever.
Third.
Well, you don't have to keep this in.
Love it.
I'm just talking to you.
We're doing it. And it stays.
Okay.
The kid stays in the picture.
Because Daddy Pascal is in there too.
Oh.
Then my next recommendation is a movie called The Tank.
Oh, nice.
And it comes out April 25th.
With Lori Petty? Oh, no, that's Tank Girl.
So, yep, The Tank. It's directed and written by Scott Walker. He's from New Zealand. He previously wrote and directed The Frozen Ground, starring Nick Cage. And I didn't plan this. I didn't know that you were going to recommend Renfield.
You didn't have to. Nicolas Cage made this happen. Okay?
So,
just the power of mentioning his name this many times is what brought about this confluence.
Exactly. It's starring Lucienne Buchanan. She is originally Tongan, but she was born in New Zealand.
Interesting.
And she's also starring in the new Netflix thriller, The Night Agent.
I heard that was very good.
I heard too.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my list because I love those
I was gonna say,
espionage thriller spy shows.
It looks right up your alley. A nice, tight thriller spy espionage. Yeah, good shit.
So the story is about a coastal property that was left to the main character and his wife.
We own several of those.
Played by Lucienne Buchanan, and their daughter from his mother. They didn't know. It's like a family property. They didn't know that it even existed. So they follow like a mysterious folk story in parallel. The character Ben attempts to repair the buried water tank on the property, which he unknowingly unearths a long dormant creature.
Yeah, the place is like completely overgrown.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was apparently this holding tank for this long dormant creature that has ravaged the town and coastal community long before.
Yeah.
And I believe that we're going to find out how his ancestors were involved, why the tank exists in the first place. But it's one of those sort of I think this film is sort of like an under the radar New Zealand.
New Zealand, which has given us
like a tight,
some excellent horror movies.
A tightly edited together film.
Nice. You know, that's the thing. If you're going to put a prison for an ancient monster, put a sign next to it.
Yeah. Don't leave little folklore cues about it.
Don't be fucking clever about it. Like to paraphrase Dr. Strangelove, where he says, by keeping the doomsday device a secret, you completely negate its purpose of deterrent.
Yeah.
Like, you trapped this evil creature and then you let it become completely overgrown and look like a water tank. That just seems lazy
and
to me.
Also,
put
the
up a
coastal
sign.
Property is like gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, why did
don't
we
make
never
it
know
attractive.
about this? Why don't people live here? Why isn't this developed? Well,
oh, there you go. There's always a reason.
Yes. So that comes out, I believe, and I can't remember exactly, but I believe it comes out in theaters and then a couple of days later it's going to be streaming.
That's, I mean, smaller releases, they do that. Video on demand, or right away or soon after.
So if you don't have this available in a theater near you, just give it a few days and it'll be streaming.
I watched the trailer and it looks interesting.
Yeah.
It could be, it's definitely on a smaller budget, but that really doesn't mean anything.
Yes.
We'll see. Awesome. It's time for my last one. And I saved the best for last. This is my jam, yo. Beau is Afraid. April 21st by Ari Aster. It's Ari Aster's new movie, y'all. It is Hereditary, Midsummer. Now Beau is Afraid. Now this has been a passion project of Aster's for a long, long time. He shot a short film called Beau in 2011. He wrote an early draft of the script in 2014, which was called Disappointment Boulevard, which...
Oh, yeah.
I love that title. It's now called Beau is Afraid, but the original title was Disappointment Boulevard. So it's been described by Aster as a 3-hour nightmare comedy. And it does have a running time of 2 hours and 59 minutes. So he's lying. And I think that should go on record that Ari Aster lies about how long things are. So anyway, this movie looks incredible.
Stars Joaquin Phoenix.
It stars Joaquin Phoenix. It's also got Parker Posey, Amy Ryan, Patty LuPone plays his mother, Richard Kind, Nathan Lane. I mean, my God.
And James Gandolfini's son is in it.
Yeah, Michael
too.
Gandolfini's in it. Yes, he is. It's a great trailer. It looks like just a strange odyssey of a man just filled with neuroses and fears, whose mother dies, and he has to leave his apartment and travel to the services or whatever. Everything goes wrong. He's afraid of everything. Things happen to him. Now, it's a decade-spanning tale. It's about choices made, choices not made. It seems like he encounters younger and older versions of himself. It's very surrealistic. Listen, it's Ari Aster. It's going to be a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, it's going to be a brain fuck for sure.
It's going to be just wonderful. But unlike Midsommar and Hereditary, this is a comedy. It's definitely dark. There are definitely some horrific elements to it, but it's supposedly pretty funny. And Joaquin Phoenix is one of those serious actors who can absolutely smash it in comedy when he wants to. Like Adam Driver is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Just you're not quite expecting it, and then he's hilariously funny. So
definitely dark comedy.
It's a certain kind
for
of
Joaquin
humor.
Phoenix.
Absolutely. He's not, pie in the face type shit. But
I mean, Adam Driver, that Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh my God, where
when
he plays the
teacher.
ancient oil man.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the classroom, he's the oil man.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So Beau is Afraid, April 21st in theaters. Carve out some time for this one. It is going to be worth it. I am just so excited that Ari Aster is making movies and that he's not making the same movie over and over again. This is his third film, and it's 3 very different kinds of movies. Mm-hmm. So I'm really interested. Can't wait. Beau is Afraid.
So I'm going to mention this film. It doesn't quite fit into horror. Okay?
What?
I know, but I'm going to mention it.
Talk about liars.
It's tagged as a drama thriller. So I'm mentioning it, but it's not really going to be a horror recommendation. The film is called Hunger. It comes out April 6th on Netflix. It's a Thai film, and it's about a character, a young girl, a young adult. She runs her family's stir-fry restaurant in Bangkok. She receives a mysterious invitation to join Team Hunger, which is a luxury chef team led by an infamously nasty chef named Paul. I'm not going to try to pronounce any of the actors and
definitely
actresses
watch
in the film.
Trailer. It's a very good trailer.
It looks really great. It sort of has the menu
There's
vibes.
Absolutely a class.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I definitely think there's going to be some... I mean, honestly, if you don't like horror, this might be a good way to watch a little bit of a horror adjacent.
Yeah.
I just couldn't really let this movie go
Absolutely.
without mentioning it.
Yeah,
I am putting the disclaimer that I understand it's not
I don't know.
really horror.
The trailer had my heart pounding. I thought it was really tense.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not quote unquote horror, but I agree with you. It's close enough.
Yeah. So, Hunger.
That is really good. That's a great recommendation.
Thanks.
I want to give a quick honorable mention to a big release. It's April 7th, and it's coming from Julius Avery, who other film, his debut film actually was Overlord. Very, very excellent Nazi zombie World War II movie with what's his name, Wyatt Russell.
Oh,
so
right.
Anyway, this is The Pope's Exorcist, starring Russell Crowe as Father Gabriel Amorth. Now, listeners of this pod might recognize the name Father Amorth because he was a real person. This is a fictionalized biopic based on a true story, however you want to say it. But Father Amorth was a real person. He was the most famous exorcist and sanctioned by the Vatican, was the inspiration for Father Merrin, Max von Sydow's character in The Exorcist. And William Friedkin did a documentary called The Devil and Father Amorth. So this movie, I don't know. It's got an interesting cast. Russell Crowe playing the Exorcist. Franco Nero is playing the Pope. That's really cool. And Julius Avery is a competent director. It's a big budget film, so I don't know. It could go the way of the right. Like it could. I do love me an exorcism movie, but they're not always great. So I'm putting this on the honorable mention list. I would say give it a shot. I really hope it works out because it's an interesting story worth telling, and it seems like it's being told by a good group of people. But again, your mileage may vary on this one.
Maybe we'll talk more about it depending on when we explore a little bit more specificity in our possessions.
Yeah, Roman Catholic possessions. Or if it's really good, you might be hearing about it in our year-end roundup.
Yeah,
wrap-up.
You just got to wait
Up
like
round.
8-9 months for that.
And why wouldn't you? I mean, it's already on people's calendars. I see it all over town.
Well, for those of you that are still listening, thank you. And we will see you next time
Have
with
a great
brand
April.
new episode.
Have a great April, everybody.
Bye. Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Suspanic. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're